We've been talking about people on the album. What did anything happen? Because I read quite a bit on Puff Daddy. You doing stuff?
Yeah,
with him?
that's kind of outside the scope of this album. This is more for his thing, as you've probably read. Does his house or electronic album, depending on what you read, and coming at some point. I mean, there's one single out coming out.
Let's Get Ill or whatever.
Which I was involved with on its original stages, but you know, by the time half of America have got their hands in it, then it changes into something else. But yeah, there's a couple of things we did when we were over in Ibiza, which I think we'll hopefully finish in the next month or so, and get that on his album.
Okay, but back on your album, so people, as we mentioned, Tigo and Jarvis Cocker, what were kind of interesting to work with? How did you work with these guys? How did it all work?
I mean, I must admit, I sort of met these people from, they kind of move in similar circles, I suppose, musically. They're people who I'd consider I'd make pop records, you see, and they also do, but they've got a bit of a twist. They haven't just done something, bog standard. So I think that I was surprised to find, or pleased to find rather, that they were like-minded people. So it's quite easy to work with them. The thing I've done with Jarvis is kind of like an extension of the sort of bootlegging juxtaposition idea, taking sort of perverse elements. I mean, there's a bit of Mazzy Star sampled in there. There's an R&B beat programmed in waltz time, which is maybe deliberately obtuse, but and then you've got Jarvis over it. So it's an interesting, that's a very different side of the kind of the ideas that are coming out of the album.
And without getting too technical on your setup, are you very basic, or is this?
Yeah, I'm a very basic boy. Yeah, no, it's always, maybe my production values have increased because I love,
No, they sound rich. I just, you hear these people who, are you bedroom style?
I could be bedroom style. Yeah, I'm sort of in between, sort of, Mark Knopfler and bedroom style. So.
All right. Want to talk quickly about your label, Black Melody?
Oh yes, yeah.
So what's going on with that?
Well, it kind of is one. I wouldn't say a vanity label because it does actually exist. I mean, we put out the first Girls on Top things, and this. We're
going to play something from
the Golden Hour of the Future, which is, I mean, my love of the human league is well documented, and through doing what I've done, I got to meet them, and we put out an album of their late '70s stuff, which has been, really exciting to go through their vaults. But the label will rise again. I mean, I've met some strange people on my travels who all seem to be quite happy to put some records out. So it will, when I've stopped being a pop star, maybe that'll kick back in again.
Well, let's play something off that album, Golden Hour of the Future. It is a bizarre cover version of Reach Out, I'll Be There. Before we go and play a little bit more off your album, what's your sort of vibe on the whole way technology seems to be controlling music, with things like Apple's iTunes, and how do you feel about the way, as I say, technology is almost controlling the music business in many ways?
Yeah, I mean, there's always, there's a lot of worried people in terms of, the sort of piracy aspect of it. I mean, I think it's going to...
Would you be happy being 99 cents a track?
Yeah, it wouldn't bother me. I think it's, for the artist, it's always that thing of it has to be controlled, properly. This is definitely a different issue from bootlegging and the sampling thing. This is about how the music gets, it's so accessible. Anyone who's got a broadband internet connection at the moment knows how easy and fast it is to get whatever music you want, and if record companies don't compete with that, then they're going to be left behind. I mean, there'll always be people of my generation and younger who want something physical when they want more about the band. They want the artwork, and that's whether it's on CD or old-fashioned vinyl, that's the bit that probably has to be addressed.
And what are your views on sort of sampling? Let's say someone were to sample you. Do you think that permission thing is important? Or would you be flattered if you heard your stuff
Yeah, I mean, I don't know which bits they'd sample of mine, because most bits are from other people anyway. But you know, there's some things that have got maybe a bit more of me. And of course, yeah, I mean, I'd take the same view as a lot of the artists who've you know, turned around and smiled at me for doing it. I mean, if it's done well, it's great. I mean, there's been, you know, I'm an obvious target for bootlegging it, especially amongst the community. And there was a couple of the Being Nobody, which you know, there's one particularly good one I think you played on.
Soundhog.
Yeah, Soundhog was good. So it's kind of,
that's a good attitude.
I'm up for that, but it's, you know, it takes just that little spark to make something new out of these things. And if it isn't there, then I mean, I got sent a couple of things, I must admit, that were, you know, just like my records sped up. And I can't really see the merit in that myself, but I'm open-minded, so. You know, I always wanted someone to completely destroy one of my records, and that'd be more exciting.
Okay, well, that's about it. I mean, we're going to play You Better Let Me Love You ×4. Anything else that, you know, needs to be mentioned? Plugged?
I don't know.
Gigs, live? What about the live thing?
Well, I don't. I mean, this is one thing I don't really do. I mean, I do DJ occasionally, but it's more. There's been a lot of confusion because I don't really play the bootleg thing. And of course, everyone, because my name is Bootlegs, I normally clear dance floors, to be honest, and I'm quite happy doing that. And some places want me to do that perversely, so I do the occasional thing with friends or, you know, in local pubs and that. But certain big venues, probably you won't be seeing me there. And apart from my live tour, I've got absolutely no idea how that's going to come about. I don't think anyone really wants to see me strumming a guitar pretending to be Tiga, do they?
That'll be good.
Yeah.
Oh, we don't mind.
Yeah, good. Well, it could happen. I'll have a word with Virgin about it.
All right. Well, listen, thank you very much, Richard. Best of luck with it all, and let's end with a little bit of You Better Let Me Love You ×4.
You don't forget the brackets. Tonight.
You're gonna love me. You're gonna love me. Baby, if you want me, I'm the right boy. I'm the right boy. Sister, it's the feeling. Keep it coming. Keep it coming. Sister, I'm your daddy. Let me touch you. Let me touch you. You better let me love you. Better let me love you. Better let me love you tonight. You better let me love you. Better let me love you. Better let me love you tonight. You better let me love you. Better let me love you. Better let me love you tonight. You better let me love you. Better let me love you. Better let me love you tonight, baby. Say I'm sorry. Don't you love me? Don't you leave me? Baby, don't you want me? I'm gonna love you. Gotta love you. Sister, are you looking for another? Sister, let me see you. I will have you. You better let me love you. Better let me love you. Better let me love you tonight. You better let me love you. Better let me love you. Better let me love you tonight. You better let me love you. Better let me love you. Better let me love you tonight. You better let me love you. Better let me love you. Better let me love you tonight.
I'm that type of boy who always gets what he wants. You better let me love you. You better let me love you tonight. You better let me love you. You better let me love you tonight. I'll do the whole thing. I'm that type of boy who always gets what he wants. Drums. Are you
You better let me love you.